Welcome to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, hit that like, subscribe to this channel, and share this with a friend or someone you feel would benefit from this podcast. Welcome to the Blah 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 podcast. Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Let me pull this up and let's get started. Happy Tuesday to all of you chat family. I hope everybody's doing amazing. Let me pull this up right here. Okay, here we go. Today, chat family, we're going to be talking about bullying, and this is a very sensitive topic for many. So I have to say trigger warning for those who may have been through this or are currently going through this. I always like to give support to the parents so that they can identify these red flags in their own children. But also, I can speak of it from the side of when I was younger being bullied, the things that I went through. And I know that it changes with different generations, but um, it just comes into another form that we'll talk about on another topic. But let's get started on this one. Signs your kid is being bullied. Um, there's not really a hard and fast rule, but we definitely have to pay attention to our children. We know them. We know their personality. We know what they like to do. And then when things shift and change, we have to ask ourselves, what has changed? Why are they changing? It's because they're getting older and they're coming into their own, or have they become a little bit going back into their shell? And we have to identify that to protect our child, because it's a mental thing, it's emotional, it's also a sense of belonging to a group. It's that rejection. And if you don't talk to your children about what they're dealing with and going through, um, they could turn from being bullied to a bully in their adult years. So, as always, I'm going to put a link to a hotline if you are a child or you have children that do some counseling services for children. Okay, that will be in the description box later on this evening. So let's start with talking about signs of bullying. Bullying is hard sometimes to spot, but there are some key warning signs that we need to pay attention to. And the first one for me that I feel like is a major red flag is injuries they can't explain. You may see bruises, scratches, or they may always cover up their arms. Maybe it's on their hands, maybe it's on their back or their stomach, scratches on their face, just things that you're like, what is that? So it's important to also make sure when your child is taking a bath that you see, like, is everything okay? Is their skin clear and good, or do you see like some scars, some wounds that is a sign that they have been hurt physically? We also have to talk about how they can be hurt emotionally, how it can impact our youth, and it really does, because of the words that they say, ugly, stupid, they make fun of their size, their weight, the way they speak. um, especially if they have a speech impediment or they have some sort of disability or special needs. We have to advocate for children, and it's not okay. And the injuries don't necessarily have to be from other children. That's what I hate to say, this that we live in an age where the children are not always bullied by their peers. Sometimes the bullies are the teachers, coaches, or other people that are taking care of our children. Hi, Glenda. How are you doing? Good morning. Well, good evening to you, but it's good morning to me. It's 10 a.m. in Florida. I believe it's 10 p.m. in the Philippines. Let me know. If you could like, I'd really appreciate it. How are you doing, Glenda? And another thing that I always see when it comes to children being bullied, you see changes in their eating and their sleeping habits. Like maybe at one period of time they slept through the night, and then they start having nightmares, waking up sweating or shaking. They're scared to go to bed because they will relive like a scratch record what happens in school, or also bullying can go into being, um, touched in uncomfortable places. It can go into SM, it can go into SA. So it's very important that bullying also carries some abuse of a sexual nature as well. We have to be honest about that part too. Yeah, it's night. Okay, Glenda. I'm glad it's good, going good. I'm sure you're about to head into bed in a little bit. I won't be on here for very long, maybe another 10 minutes. So you may see some changes in kids' eating and sleeping habits. And that's not good. If kids are getting nightmares, you need to have some conversations. You need to comfort them, give them some support, and really find out what's going on. Is it the the school? Is it a teacher? Is it a counselor? A PE coach? Who is bullying our children, or who is making your child feel so scared and uncomfortable? As parents, caregivers, and guardians, we have to protect the children even when they feel scared to tell you. That communication is so important between a parent and a child, whether it's an auntie or a cousin or a friend. If you notice something that's changed or shifted in a child, it really would benefit the child. I know that they would feel so much relief in knowing that someone cares and sees. This is another one that signs your kid is being bullied. Faking illnesses to not go to school. I know I know of this very well. You say that you have a stomach ache, you have a backache, you have a cold, anything so that you don't go to school and deal with another day of kids kicking and punching and poking you and pushing you, and just the relentless making fun of you, embarrassing you in front of the other students in class. It's never ending. And I remember those days well, just like it was yesterday. It's not a nice feeling when you are embarrassed, when you're not accepted in school, or you feel that you're weird or strange. You have to feed some positive mindset support and let children know that, while other people may not like you, it's nothing wrong with you. You're wonderful. You're a beautiful person. Speak of their positive qualities, reinforce their mind, and it may be that you may have to intercede with, okay, why is the teacher not stepping in? And maybe even getting your child to go into another classroom. You may have to change the schedule because it may be certain students in the classroom bullying your child, and it's not acceptable. And I know that people just say, oh, the kids will be kids, and they're just joking around. when it's not. It's way more than that. Bullying affects kids' self-esteem. It affects their ability to do work, their peace of mind, their happiness, their self-esteem. So much goes into how they're treated in school. It is. Yeah, it is true. So I have three more points. And this one, signs your kids is being bullied, losing their possessions. And I say losing in quotes when it's not, they haven't lost it. Sometimes the other kids or whoever is taking their things. And bullying doesn't have to always be in school. If they live in an area that's I would say, a low socioeconomic community, and maybe they take their sneakers, they take their clothes, they take their electronics, whatever it is, they're taking things from them. So, and then of course they come home and say they lost it, but they don't know where they lost it. That's a key sign that something is wrong. Someone's taking their things, and it's time for you to step in and pay attention. And here is another one. A sign to your kids is being bullied. They're avoiding hanging out with their friends. So maybe before they were in a group and they seemed to be inseparable. They were always together, always having fun and laughing. And then now they don't want to hang out with those friends. They don't want to go outside. They don't want to go to parties or the park or whatever it is that they do like before. Maybe because the other kids are now making fun of your child. We have to think about those things. And that's why I've said it over and over again. Communication is so key with your child, not pointing your finger at them and making them feel that they did something wrong, but opening up the lines of communication and allowing for them to talk, and not to try to tell them how it is, or to just say things that a kid doesn't want to hear. Just letting them be free to express themselves and to say how they're feeling, what they're dealing with and going through, because it's not a very easy thing to hear that somebody is messing with your kid, and you want to jump in and tell them how it should be, but you need to listen. That's the first thing. You need to listen to your children. They need to feel free and comfortable to talk to you, and not also being bullied by their parents to tell them how they should be dealing with and coping with the situation. Remember, you're not in their shoes. You don't know how they feel and what they're going through. Allow them to feel how they feel, and make it be a safe haven for them, that you're going to hug them and kiss them and talk to them and make them feel safe and supported. But you're also going to handle it by going to the school, getting to the bottom of who's bullying, and all those things. I have time to set up some parent teacher meetings with those who are bullying your children. But you have to find out what's going on, because I would hate to see a child unalived. And I say that from experience, from my years of bullying. I got to the breaking point where I tried to take my life, um, on multiple occasions, because the bullying was so relentless. Like, and people say, "Oh, just walk away. Oh, it's school. It's no big deal." But when you're a child and your whole self-esteem is wrapped up in being accepted, and you don't get accepted, actually, you're rejected, and it hurts. And it's just day after day. Think about it. 5 days a week, you have these same kids making fun, pushing, laughing at you, trying to trip you, hitting you with items, taking your things. It's endless. So for parents, you really have to pay attention to who your children are hanging out with, and also maybe if they isolate themselves, they don't want to go anywhere, they just want to be by themselves all the time. That's a sign that something can be wrong, and you need to have conversations and ask them what's going on, and just listen to them. And this is my last point. I know that there's many other points when we're talking about being bullied, your child being bullied. But if you see them doing some self harm, like this is a trigger warning. But if your child has slit their wrist or they're hitting themselves, eh, all of those things, if they're doing anything to cause physical harm to themselves, or they're acting out and becoming very aggressive with a pet, with their sibling, or even with you, yelling and screaming, and that's outside of their nature of who they are as a child. They've changed their personality. It may not be them, it's they're acting out for what they've seen, and they've bottled in all their anger, and they will place it on to others within their family unit. So it's very important to see those changes and to confront it, to ask what's going on. But I really want to have this conversation because it's important to protect our youth, um, so that they can feel however they look, how they talk, whatever, especially those with special needs, those who are readily not accepted from the beginning. They need to be accepted at home. And also, if something is going on where they feel sad, uncomfortable, you may have to change the classroom. And even if it's so bad and it's the school, because the teachers and everybody is not accepting, you may want to change schools. Just a little bit of advice. And like I said, I'm going to put the link and the information to a crisis hotline. And yes, as adults, we may not be able to get the same thing as children, but think about when you were younger and how kids were when you were a child. Try to be patient, be understanding, allow your child to open up and communicate what they're dealing with and going through. Yeah, all of those things. So, thank you so much for tuning into today's podcast. I really do appreciate it. I do these conversations because I think it's so important that young people feel safe at home, in school, and especially if something is going on at school. um, I hate to say it, but in the schools, teachers and coaches and other people in the school could be predators and preying on our very vulnerable children. So you have to ask questions. What's going on in school? Is someone making you feel uncomfortable? Has somebody said or done something to you? Having conversations like this are very important. That's why I believe in real talk and real conversations. Thank you so much, Glenda, for stopping by and being here and supporting. I really do appreciate it. And to all of you, chat family, those who are mothers, fathers, siblings, if you see something with the children, don't ignore it. Don't say kids will be kids. We want our kids to have healthy self esteem, loving themselves so that they can be at peace as an adult. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not already, hit the like, subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bells, and all of those things. Yep, it's so true. So true, Glenda. Turn on your notification bell, and I will see you all tomorrow on the Marlene Saunders Show for another podcast. Same time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Glenda, and thank you to all you chat family. Everybody have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you all on the next Marlene Saunders Show.